like Amaz is playing something of a standard list so far, based on what I see. Nothing out of the ordinary here. And Trump is playing a mech mage with a pretty good start.
Pretty good start? I would say it's amazing.
Yep, mech warper with a snow chugger. Just getting that early start is really important. That Paladin Shredder also on curve, if it lives. You know, if the mech warper lives, that's going to be amazing.
Well, that draw, that's not a good draw. The Clockwork Gnome, you would have just wanted maybe an Anoitron.
I like pointing out Snow Chugger here, I think. It's probably the best line of play, because that way you can go for turn 2 Mech Warper Clockwork and be done dealing with the Northshire Cleric.
What about skipping this turn?
And dropping everything next turn, you still give him value with the Clockwork. I don't think that's...
But you give, if you drop the Snow Chugger, then you give him the Hero Power heal.
Yeah, he's gonna get that value anyway. So Amaz is gonna do that and draw a card. That's gonna be a very slow start for both players, but it's gonna have to be done. Now, this turn is a bit better because he can actually kill the Northshire and develop the Clockwork Gnome. There we go.
True.
So he planned ahead pretty well here. I think that's even better than Snow Chugger.
I agree. That was the better play.
Shot. By a long shot.
But, Amaz has a great draw against Mech Mage.
Yeah, he's got a Shadow Madness, he's got the 2 Dark Cultists and the Cabal Shadow Priest. It's gonna be hard to do better than this. I guess Mad Scientist Snow Chugger is not horrible, but...
Do you ignore the Dark Cultist? I think you do, right?
It's so weak to do so, but at the same time... Can you really afford not to? I mean, I guess you could double trade into it and just play Snow Chugger Mad Scientist. That's also not too bad. That way he's not gonna be able to heal it up for value and buff up another minion. Because if he buffs something with the Dark Cultist, you're gonna be in a world of hurt.
Now, Shadow Madness kinda makes sense. But it's still, you can get better value in the upcoming turns, so... Light of Naro being drawn is a huge draw. Just spawn a minion for 1 mana, which is 1/1, which is still okay, and heal your Injured Blade Master for 3 points of health. That's insane.
Yeah. So I guess you put out the Mirror Entity now, with an emergency coolant. Because if you play Paladin Shredder, you're not really accomplishing much with it, are you?
Mirror Entity with the coolant.
Alright, I thought so. that was kind of okay, but I guess you want to get the free one first. It felt okay to me. And now there's a Shadow Madness. That's going to deny at least 1 Mirror Entity, which is not really a big problem because he's got a second one in hand. But I mean, what if like the first Mad Scientist gets Shadow Madness?
Okay. Maybe you should first kill the piloted Shredder. Maybe you would get something better that you could have just then Shadow Madness with the Mad Scientist and kill the drop from the piloted Shredder, right?
That is what I thought he would do, but he opted otherwise. And now I think he's trying to force his opponent to trade away the Mad Scientist, but he's going to give him good value with that. That Mirror Entity is going to be good.
It will be good, that's right.
So you just freeze. I think you have to keep the emergency coolant for Archmage at this point. Anything else is really dangerous. I think you play Mirror Entity for the Mad Scientist, then you drop your second one. Maybe bluff the opponent to trading into it. Cabal Shadow Priest is going to deny you that secret. The Priest is in such a good position though, it's just that he can't play really Cabal without giving his opponent a Yeti. That doesn't feel amazing. So you could kill it first and then...
there are 2 kinds of play you can do it. You can just steal the Mad Scientist.
Or pop it and deny the secret, yeah.
Or... Well, there's no Mirror Entity yet, right?
There is one, yes, it came out of the first...
it
came out of the first Mad Scientist.
I'm so confused. Okay, so... What about first popping the piloted Shredder?
Yeah, if you pop the Shredder, there's a chance you get something from Cabal, but then if you drop Cabal, you give him a Yeti. That's not really something you want to do, but at least you're taking out the mechs for Blast Mage, so there's an argument to be made for that.
What would I like to see, actually, would be the Thought Steal first. You're not
Yeah, to
low.
see what you'd get, definitely.
You could have just draw a Cogmaster, an example. And you could play that to mirror entity it. What do you think about that?
I think that would have been a pretty decent line of play. Trump is actually looking pretty strong right now. If his Archmage gets to live, which it, like, if he finds another spare part that's not too bad, he's gonna be able to get good value out of it. And if you're the mayor of Value Town, I guess, you're happy about it. That's a bit awkward, but you could just wipe this board completely. It's just that look at this Cabal Shadow Priest value. Amaz opting to pop the Cultist, thinking if I get to steal that Mad Scientist, and at least it'll have more health. Which in fact it will.
Well, you have no more secrets out anyway, right? In your deck. I mean, you don't have any more secrets, so...
Trump doesn't, but... he doesn't care much. It's just that Amaz is happy to get any minion he can with this. Unless he wants to wait for an Onoyotron. It's all about whether Trump decides to use Fireball or to develop Mirror Entity.
Amaz doesn't know that he has the Mirror Entity in his hand, so that's the problem here.
Oh, he knows. He killed the second Mad Scientist and no secret popped out.
Never mind. Oh, that's the worst outcome possible.
Alright, so this Mad Scientist is now out of the way. Shadow Madness has been used. Oh, well, you could give them... Yeah. You could feed him a Recombobulator or a Nanoyotron, pick your choice. I'd rather have given him a 3-2, I think, but at least you can steal... You steal that one very easily, at least. It's good value for you. You can get a 1-2 with Taunt.
He'll probably use just the hero power to pop it, right? Because he needs the spare part for the next turn. Maybe he will even hoard the spare parts like in future turns to get more value from the Antonidas, because he knows that there might be a Shadow Ward Death. And with one Fireball you will not win the game.
Yeah, you're gonna need a lot more than this to beat the priest.
Maybe you need another spare parts, or at least maybe a Tinkertown or Frostbolt or...
Well, you need to have a big board, and if you have a big board, then you're going to be fine, and you're going to be able to apply a lot of pressure on the opponent. But that's really the biggest issue, is finding that board. I really like the Cabal Shadow Priest Recombobulator possibility here. That is a pretty good one. Turn your Yeti into a 6-drop, that seems like valuable.
A circle will be amazing here. It's still... Yeah, recombobulating the Cabal Shadow Priest most of the time insane. Well, now you gave it just its Wind Fury for 2 points of mana, but still good. Still good.
Yeah, it's good enough, honestly. It's more than fine. And now Trump... I mean, the 4-5 is not a big deal in and of itself. It's just a minion that the priest can keep alive if he wants to. Amaz was probably fishing for something even better than this, although on average 6 drops are pretty powerful. I mean, if you get a Boulder Fist Ogre, you're pretty happy. Like, something as weird as a Boulder Fist Ogre is pretty solid.
Too bad the Wind Fury Harpy will be killed with the Fireball. I would really like to see a +1 attack spare part from the Tinkertown Technician to give it 5 points of attack and then Pyroblast the face.
Oh wow, that was an insane Blast Mage. I think you just trade away the Anogtron, right? Try to keep as much damage on the board as you can. Is that mech... although you might want to keep the mech for Tinkertown. That's the consideration that Trump has to go for here. And I can't blame him if he decides to trade away the Mad
It's not an easy decision here.
Yeah, you don't have anything else to use it with right away, but you might get to keep it, so maybe you trade away the Scientist and surrender 1 point of damage. And he does just that.
Yeah. He has to keep the max, that's for sure. He doesn't have any more max, and he will draw just 1 card a turn. So any Tinkertown Technicians would be worthless. Oh no! Well, he has the Sylvanas, but he didn't drop it.
Yeah, this is gonna be... Trump is gonna be able to get himself a really good Archmage, Emergency Coolant, and stop
That's what he wanted to see. Now,
Trump's got to be wondering, does Amaz actually have
You have to go
Another
for it.
death. Yeah, I think you have to. I think that is definitely the play. Because if you play Shredder, you do nothing with it. You give him a 4-3 and then he pings whatever comes out of it. So you have to go for the coolant play. Oh man, Amaz is gonna have to find an answer to this. If he finds a Shadow Word Death, he can steal that guy, but besides that, that is not it. Not one bit. You have to drop Sylvanas.
Wow, why didn't he drop the Sylvanas the turn before?
It's not that bad even. You know, he is at 27 health, and unless Trump has some kind of freeze, again, it should be fine.
Well, he will deal 13, 18 points of damage and will still have 2 more fireballs. So that's lethal in 2 turns.
Oh, wow.
But you ignore that, you just go face with fireballs.
I think so, yeah. Because the opponent can't heal himself at the moment, so what Amaz is going to have to do, if he keeps the Alkanai, he's going to be very vulnerable.
What to do?
What can... the only thing that can save Amaz here is Holy Fire, right?
Yeah.
Only Nova is not enough. No, he has the Alkanai Sophie, so he has to sacrifice the Alkanai, and then you can't steal the Antonidas.
Yeah, because you just kill your Sylvanas on it. It's better than nothing, mind you, but I feel like Trump has to go full face.
Yeah, you have to.
Because otherwise he might just get starved out of resources. I mean, Sylvanas is such a big threat. Anything he plays risks just getting punished.
No, he's not going face. And he kills the Alkanai.
I'm actually really surprised by that line of play. This is a line of play I did not expect one bit.
I didn't like that at all.
I am really surprised by this line of play.
No
Well,
footballs.
We'll have to see how things develop past this point, but... Well, I said earlier, you know, Trump is comfortable with just about any deck, but I'd have to... Oh, he's making sure that it can't get healed up to 6 and then trade it
That's a very safe play, but I would like to see... Oh.
Oh, it's gonna get stolen no matter what.
Well, then Trump has to use the Fireball, his own Antonidas, and then he can drop the Dr. Boom next turn.
Oh, you know what? I feel like maybe you keep Sylvanas, but that's so weak because you know there's another fireball in the opponent's hand.
No, you can't. So you just... I don't know, man. I didn't like the turn before that, so now everything changed.
Yeah.
It will be already a game for Trump.
Well.
Well, well, what? You didn't catch my drift.
No, I didn't catch your drift.
Oh, never mind.
Alright, so Sylvanas is now gone, and it's on Amaz's side. Although, you know what? Paladin Shredder Blast Mage looks like a perfect line of play. And you know what? I think Trump could be very well able to deal with this. This does look like...
All face. Almost missed, man.
Yeah, you know what? Amaz is actually in a world of hurt here. Despite the fact that he stole the Archmage, it dealt terrible damage. This needs to be a Doomsayer, and it's not.
And he
Amaz
has
is
used
playing
the
a
second
Lantine
Shadow
weapon.
of Death on the second mage, Blast Mage. That's
Yeah.
terrible. Wow.
That belongs in a museum.
That's terrible. That's just terrible. I don't think Amaz can make it.
Well, it's possible that he's got his own, the ability to counterplay here, but it's going to be very difficult at the very least. If he finds a mind control off the top here, that could swing the game.
Then the Boombas are just trading for the War Golem.
It's fine. It's at least 7 damage you're not taking right away.
Oh, that's
What a whiff.
awful draw.
Well, it's not that's not what Amaz wanted to see. I don't even know if there's anything he wanted to see. What could Amaz have found that really helped him out here?
Yeah, basically only the mind control, as you said. Wow. Well,
Yeah,
Trump
this
will
is,
win anyway What could have done Amaz differently to turn the game around?
He would have had to know that his opponent was holding Archmage and not Shadow Word Death, the
The last mage, but that would
last mage
mean
right away, but that would have been too
additional
much damage output.
Yeah,
Exactly. So Amaz is going to concede this game, and Trump is going to be taking it, which means the Mech Mage is locked out of Trump's lineup, right?
Mm-hmm.
So as a result, he's going to have to resort to Hunter and Pally left. That's what he's got.
Hunter and Paladin against a priest. So priest will be most likely kept for the hunter unless he doesn't run any kind of heals apart from the Narus. And I feel that's not enough, you know?
Yeah, Light of the Naru is pretty... It's pretty good. The thing is, like, Holy Fire has been phased out of so many decks right now. You barely even see it anymore.
I love the card though. I feel
yeah, it
it's
is
so powerful against aggro.
Mm-hmm.
It's insane. It's like heal 10 damage for 6 points of mana because you kill a creature, a huge creature most likely, which will be like a Huffer or Mishra or Goblin Blast Mage or whatever that type of creature, and then you heal like for the additional attack that creature would have done.
Yeah, exactly. So you're double... It feels like a double healing. You're creating a huge health differential between you and the opponent at that point. So Amaz going to be going for his Warlock, not for his Priest, because Trump's lineup is Paladin and Hunter left. So this is probably going to be the Demon Lock that we saw him play on stream.
I would guess that Trump will now switch to Hunter and will just be, you know, really great against Warlock.
Hunter punishes Warlock and Druid, and even sometimes Priest when they race way too fast. So it's a really good choice.
Unless Amaz plays like a really teched out Warlock against Hunters. Well, you know, Demon Lock can easily win against Hunters, but he needs that specific set of cards to make it work. Like Void Color into Mal'Ganis or Jaraxxus into Defensive Agus. That's basically one of the plays that soaks so much damage that removes Hunter from the game.
Yeah, you need to find Sludge Belchers, you need to find either a good Watcher in the early game, you need to find the heal bots, you got Othering Farseers, the Mortal Coils are great to cycle. So ultimately, I think Warlock has a pretty good chance, but it's not a very favorable matchup, and it will depend on how Trump's Hunter is built. I mean, mid-range Hunter's been somewhat phased out, but it is coming back. After Blackrock Mountain, I've seen more and more of it.
You think so? I didn't see one mid-range Hunter in Xfinity Hearthstone tournament. There was 16 players, and almost everyone was playing Hunter. Everyone went face. Everyone.
Okay. I saw a lot of it on ladder, but I didn't see the tournament and the rosters that it contained. But if there were no mid-range Hunters, then I suspect Trump wouldn't bring one, just for the sake of being original. There's no reason. I want to play solid Hearthstone over anything else.
Okay.
And yeah, it is Face Hunter.
But there's the Talnos.
Yeah, it's a Mortal Coil for 2 damage. It's being played everywhere now in Warlock. I don't know what happened. A long time ago, people used to say that card was trash, but now that we have, you know, Implosion, Hellfire, Coils, and the Dark Bombs, you're getting a lot more mileage out of it.
And Mal'Ganis. Now he lacks the Void Color.
He's lacking the early game, rather, at this point.
That's also true.
You could throw Blood Mage as a sacrificial lamb to card draw and draw more interesting stuff, but life tapping is a huge liability.
To say the least.
Yeah.
It's like basically giving the win to Hunter. You can maybe tap once in this matchup.
Yeah, because this deck's been refined. Very, like, Hunter aggro right now is refined to a very heavy extent. Like, the deck is figured out, essentially.
The quick shots kinda changed it.
Yeah.
But for some time we'll see few differences between the Face Hunters. But the overall idea of the deck, it basically is the same. You just... The difference will be, an example, someone plays 1 quick shot, someone plays 2 quick shots.
Oh man, that Knife Juggler is going to be good. That double Knife Juggler could be even better. The thing is, does he want to overextend into Hellfire? That's got to be the question that Trump is asking himself.
I would not do it.
I think 1 Juggler might be fine.
Yeah,
Well,
you can make an all-in play with double Knife Jugglers, right?
yeah, it's very all-in though. Like, your chance of recovering from this, if there's any taunt, you're pretty much gone. Alright, Trump is opting for the Animal Companion. That's a good
Which is
idea.
okay. Now you sacrifice the Vorgon for the Abusive Sergeant and go 4 damage to the face, right? Or you just kill the Abusive Sergeant and go for face with the rest? Nah.
I think you have to trade because if you're playing into if you're worried about Hellfire, leaving the abusive up lets him pop the spider and then do Hellfire anyway.
Emperor. Okay, that's a good draw, but not at this time.
Let's see how many things. Oh, 4.
So now Unleash the Hounds, get wrecked. Nope.
Well,
Imagine
still, it
Unleash
doesn't
the
matter.
Hounds
It
now.
doesn't matter. You got double juggler, pop the spider, kill all the imps, and go to town. You're still very fine here.
Now you have to go all in. I think.
Well, yeah, I think that's a great line of play. You're playing into Hellfire, but at least now you've got a bow to apply consistent follow-up pressure.
Oh wow. 4 knives.
And they just all hit immediately. And now Amaz is hard-pressed to find something. He wants to Bane of Doom that juggler and find
He
a
has to.
Felguard, I guess.
Felguard or
Mal'Ganis.
Mal'Ganis. Yeah. Oh man, what? Oh no, that didn't happen.
No.
Oh,
What are the
wow.
odds? Well, now he's got to he's got to waste, so to speak,
Yeah,
a total of 7 damage on Mal'Ganis number 1. There is another one that will get reduced possibly by Emperor Thorson.
This can instantly win the game, I think.
Wow.
Well, it's not really
Esports.
over yet.
It isn't, but that's a huge stalling.
That's so bad.
Amaz didn't even flinch. I would have at least,
Yeah, I
flailed
would
in my chair.
I would like wave my arms and say Lawong or whatever.
I would have probably just, fell back in my chair and waved my arms around.
Yeah, exactly.
At the very least.
Emperor now. Mal'Ganis for 8 points of mana. That's balanced.
That does force an answer though from Trump. Again, another card that he's got to answer because this cannot be left unchecked, can it? I guess it could.
I think you should
You can,
ignore
yeah.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, I think.
Well,
Oh man, this is such.
Now
Because
it's
what if
tough.
there's a heal bot and then he trades and then he gets another cheaper Jiraxxus? You fall behind.
I think you have to go face. You just lost 1 kill command.
Yeah, you used it up on Mal'Ganis, so that can't feel
So
too.
you can deal 9 points of damage, so we'll be at 10. I think you have to go face with everything. That's
Yeah.
your one option.
You know what? If it wasn't for Mal'Ganis, Trump would probably have this game already.
Yeah, that's true.
Hadn't been for that. Oh, when he finds
lost-
the heal
Oh,
bot.
wow.
This is insane. So you pop Leok and then you anti-heal bot Nerubian Egg? You get a reduced get a reduced Mal'Ganis as a
Yeah,
follow.
I think that's a good play.
Oh, actually, no.
Like
BGH is better with heal bot. Wow. I don't even know what's happening anymore.
That's game.
Well, we'll have to see. Maybe Trump has something up his sleeve, but
Wolf
ultimately
Rider,
he's gonna have to go
that's
full
6,
face.
7, 12. That's almost lethal, you know?
Yeah, if he goes face and he finds
Wait,
an
wait,
RB
wait, wait.
Gal,
That's
he
5,
could
8,
get it.
10, 13, 16. 1 damage of lethal.
One damage of lethal.
No,
yeah.
no, no. It can be lethal with Wolf Rider hits face with the Jugger.
Yeah, it's a 25% lethal.
Go for it! Go for it.
Oh man.
You have to go for it. There's no other way.
Yeah, or could you pop the spider? No, it's too risky. It's not even worth it.
Then you have to hit its face twice.
Yeah, it's even less likely to happen.
Yeah. Go! You have to play the Wolf Rider anyway.
Yeah, and you know what? If you find R&B Cal and Mal'Ganis is played, you still manage to pull out.
Oh!
Wait, yeah, you still have to do it.
But now you can kill the Creeper on the Big Game Hunter, and you have twice the chance to deal
1 damage. I mean, ultimately, being
damage.
at 1
2
health,
damage. You
and
have
2 health
to
doesn't
you
matter.
have to kill it to hit face twice.
Yeah,
Oh nope.
yeah, but it doesn't matter if it hits only once is fine, because at least now you're gonna be able to hero power. Well, really close, but not quite there. He's gonna leave his opponent on 1 health.
Yeah, I was so close.
Mal'Ganis can now be popped. But is that... I mean, Iron Beak Owl is lethal, still.
Iron Beak Owl is lethal. Wait, he has to kill the Knife Juggler. He has to kill the Wolf Rider. And
So
then he
Hunter's
just-
Mark would be lethal as well if he just plays Mal'Ganis on his own.
Yeah. Well, he
Right?
has to. He has to. That's the only option.
Wow. So Amaz is gonna try to get carried by that Mal'Ganis. Iron Beak Cowl or Hunter's Mark. Those are the only outs
Do you
that
use
Trump
power
might
over?
have, I think.
On the
Sorry,
egg
what?
right now? Do you use the power PO on the egg to
you
get the
have to?
fourth? Oh no! Oh wow! Now we are esports.
Well, you know what? Amaz did get Mal'Ganis off of Bane of Doom, so there is there's something to be said about the Iron Beak Owl coming as a vengeance card
Well.
for Trump. But that was a crazy top deck for Trump. That makes him take the lead here, I think. 2-0, wins with Mech Mage, wins with Hunter. I never thought I'd see the day where Trump would play aggro decks, but it seems to be the case. His last deck is a Paladin deck, and I think Amaz's lineup is not really tailored around it. He's got a Warlock, Druid, and Priest. Priest could beat Pally.
Yeah, that's
Druid is not amazing, but depending on how the Paladin is built, and Warlock also could suffer from the Paladin's ability to wipe the board consistently. So I think Amaz is going to have to go with Priest here.
Like the Warlock that Amaz plays, I think it only plays one Hellfire, and that's clearly not enough against Paladins.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely not. It's a big weakness, but there's Priest can beat Pally, right? So Amaz keep going with his Priest here against the Paladin deck from Trump, even if not favored, at least has a good chance.
True. Well, the Priest has the problem with the Priest when when it's being played against a Paladin is the fact that when there will be a masterful battle with Quartermaster, your only answer is Shadow Madness to kill two of those, and
Yeah, maybe
how can
Wildfire
I
Nova.
Yeah, that's also. But how can I circle is basically the only one answer, like viable answer. It still leaves a 2/1 creature on board, which
Yeah.
can trade with the Alchemy. So it's really not easy. Well, if there are two Pyromancers in the deck, then maybe it's also easy then. But I don't know if Amaz plays the Pyromancers, you know?
Well, it's a card that's really... I find it really hard to cut out Wild Pyros from Priest decks to try to control the board a little bit. I feel like it's one of the most... I mean, Wild Pyro is essentially a Priest card in disguise a lot of the time. Kind of like Injured Blade Master. It feels like it's been made for that class specifically.
True.
Well, we'll have to see, though. A lot of people have opted to start running more of a... Oh, there is a Wild Pyro in Amaz's hand.
Mm-hmm. So, and he keeps that very important card. Mind Control. So he has the answer for the Tyrion. If he keeps the coin, of course.
Yeah, she does go there.
Well, answer. If it's played on turn 8, then you have one turn of attack. One turn of attacking with the Tyrion. It's not a bad hand against Paladin. You have a Harrison Jones, you have the Wild Pyromancer for the Masterful Battle. That looks very good. You have two Masterful Battle. Do you drop one right now?
I think I do. I don't see why not. I guess you could just Hero Power and it eventually adds up to a very similar situation because Priest has a tough time dealing with the 1/1s. And if you played through Muster or just your Hero Power, I think it adds up to being almost equivalent. And I think maybe playing it on turn 4 leads to a better turn 5 Quartermaster, but I wouldn't, fault him for developing the Muster now.
True.
He baits the Wild Pyro, and if there is none, then he'll know right now. And if there is one, he'll know right now.
If there's no forward shield, then the Wild Pyro is dead to the weapon, so that's not so bad.
Wild
that
Pyro
one
coin
Pyro's-
heal.
Yeah.
That's fine. You can keep it alive. Yeah, coin heal. And that's gonna leave the Wild Pyro alive for the second muster. There's none. And now Trump is probably not feeling too happy. And this is probably the weakness with Quartermaster, if I have to be honest with you. And one of the reasons why I largely prefer the more control type Pally that doesn't run Quartermasters and instead opts for the heal bots and the shredders is that sometimes it is a completely dead card. Very often it's amazing, but there are times where it just does nothing that you want it to.
True. And you have the circle now. So do you go for the circle? I don't think so. Doesn't make sense. What other play do you have? Heal the Pyromancer, go face? Well, he goes for the Circle of Healing play, which leaves him a 4-7 on the board with 4 points of damage from Trump.
Yeah, the only weakness of this play is True Silver Champion, and because he's got Harrison Jones, he's got a follow-up. So if there were True Silver with the 3-3 to trade into the 4-7, he'd be in a world of trouble, but Harrison Jones counters that right away.
I think that Trump will want to use second Massive of Battle with Hero Power right now. He saw one Pyromancer, so the only other assets... If he knows the deck list that Colento plays, and Amaz probably plays something really similar, then there's only one Holy Nova.
Yeah, I think Equality Muster here is a really great play, honestly. Like, you're playing into Nova, but that's fine. That's
the other option. I wanted to say that Master of Battle Equality is the other type of play you can do.
Yeah.
I feel like if you just ignore the... No, you can't ignore the Intrabilis Master, because then on turn 6 when you play Quartermaster you have no options to clear the board.
Oh, Amaz finds the Nova, but it's a bit late.
And it's not enough even after the Quartermaster.
Yeah, exactly. It's a bit late to find it, and Trump has back-to-back Quartermaster.
So ignore the Harrison Jones, right? You just go for face with everything.
I guess you do. That's
so much
like
damage.
The priest is in such a world of hurt here. Akinai's Circle is still fine. You're not losing. Oh no, that's not enough. I was gonna say that's a great draw, and then it wasn't a great draw.
Only with 7 points of mana.
So here's the question:
It's
do you attack? Oh man, what do you do to live? Do you just have to Nova this? This is horrible.
If you kill the 3/3 with your Harrison, then you get 5, 10, 13, 15 points of damage next turn.
Yeah, you'd have to heal
don't-
yourself, and you're still dead.
So you have to kill the 3/3 and Holy Nova to live.
Yeah.
Oh, that's horrible. I wouldn't done that like at all. I would just kill the 3/3 and play Sylvanas probably.
He'd still be dead though if he does that.
Oh wow!
He's gonna live, like he's gonna have exactly enough health to live. But Trump is gonna be able to abuse that over the course of a few turns. I mean, this is
Hero Power Quartermaster.
yeah. Again, you'd ignore the board and go full face.
Oh.
I think you could ignore it. Whoa, he doesn't ignore it, and he plays Dr. Boom instead.
I don't like this at all. Like
I think
if your opponent does a play like this with the Holy Nova, the only thing that he telegraphs is, I got second Pyromancer in my hand. It's our second Holy Nova. Something like this. Is what would be the other play, right?
yeah, but
And that kinda leaves Trump in an awkward position.
well, I think he's still gonna win this game ultimately. I mean, I wouldn't say win, but he's definitely gonna be able to take this. Because Tyrion falls too early for mind control to matter. Sylvanas falls down, but he can ignore it and punch face.
Unless he draws a second Shadow Word Death and hits the 50-50 for Tyrion. But I don't think Trump will even drop the Tyrion. He'll just drop the Pilot Shredder.
Pilot Shredder and Hero Power,
Yeah.
perhaps. Or even BGH alongside it, honestly.
Might be.
I don't even hate BGH in a position like this. BGH Lotheb looks pretty sweet. But Tyrion is too tempting. And now he's got Lotheb to protect Tyrion. If necessary. Oh,
Fought still. Well,
he's gonna find an Aldor Peacekeeper or bust. And he does!
No
Wow.
way.
Wow.
So Cabal Shadow Priest next turn?
If he finds it.
That would be insane.
Oh, it's most definitely a good thought steal. Oh,
Consecration.
not quite it. I like Lotheb Consec though, if I have to be honest with you. Then you just punch face. I mean, how's Amaz gonna deal with that 5/5? He can't Akinai Circle. He can't Shadow Word Death, you know, with Lotheb. You kill the Juggler, he can't really kill the shield off of Tyrion. The worst that could happen is he gets Cabal. Like that's and because he's been so passive, you have to assume if you're Trump that there is a Cabal Shadow Priest. So maybe you want to
Yeah.
pop your own shield off of Tyrion on the Aldor and then consecrate with Lothab.
I would do that.
Yeah,
Definitely
This
will
is
do
such a
that.
risky. You have to take risks at this point because the lethal feels like it's forever away.
Let me think.
Well,
Yes, that's the only play you can do, I think. But you have a tough time clearing the Tyrion next turn.
if it does come out, I mean that's your worst case scenario. So
Yeah,
you have
yeah.
to at least play around it.
Mhm.
But you have to go for it. I think ultimately. All right. Well, is Amaz gonna find what he needs to deal with this, and that is a Cabal Shadow Priest or bust. That doesn't look like a Cabal Shadow Priest.
No, it doesn't.
He can't find humility. That would do nothing. He's just gonna thought steal and escape concede. I would venture to say, and he does. Trump takes a 3-0 against Amaz.